But yesterday I was reading the message which was prepared by Father Yesu Karnaniti, our secretary for the Bible Commission, CCBA. Nice reflection. I thought today I will just read it, but I will read it some because I felt this is apt even in the context of today's. In the ordinary time, first week, on the Friday readings, we have first reading from Hebrews chapter 4, and Gospel is taken from Mark chapter 2. But today, on the memorial of Saint Devasahayam, we meditated from James chapter 1 and Gospel from Matthew chapter 10. But both the things speaks the same thing, like cost of the discipleship. Like a disciple should pay a cost. Everyone, we also pay cost. And a reflection goes like this. The gospel reading is divided into two parts. In Mark chapter 2, it says the calling of Matthew, son of Alphaeus. Of course, he is working and God comes and calls. And Devasahayam is also, he was in the court, in the maybe king of Travancore. And he is one of the official. So he is working, and then he meets one missionary who came. Exactly, he is not a missionary. He is also helping the army. But he is a Christian. Then he encounters him. Then slowly he comes to know Jesus. Then he becomes. So God calls each one of us in different ways. And we see this Jesus calling in the New Testament. But there is a different way where we see in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, we see, for example, the prophets, how they are called. Before that, judges, then before leaders, right? So, in the call of prophets, we have 5 elements. First one is there is a problem or a need. Then only God calls someone. Then second is God calls because there is a problem or need. And third one is the person who is called, he always shows hesitation. I don't want, I cannot, please leave me. This is like a common pattern we see in the Old Testament. Whenever God calls, most of the people say, I cannot. See Moses, I cannot speak. Then he said, okay, Aaron will speak to you. Jeremiah, I am so young, don't call me as young, go. Like that, we have several examples, Gideon, everybody, like that. Everybody has a story, everybody says, please leave me. But God gives a sign of assurance of His presence. Don't worry, it is God who will fight with you. God will walk with you, you go. Then after that assurance, the called one accepts the invitation. So these are the 5 steps. First one, there is a problem or need. Then because of that issue, God calls someone, and then a called person always says no. Then God always discusses and helps him, assures him. Then the 5. But in the gospel, whenever Jesus calls, we don't see this. In the gospel, we see God calls when people are doing their day-to-day life, ordinary activities. There is not a big problem or some issue. Everybody is going, their life is going on just like that. And God calls, and here we don't see 12 disciples, apostles, they are saying, leave me and all, except Peter. Peter, when he sees the miracle only, so he felt that I am not worthy, please leave me. Apart from that, everywhere they left and followed. But even the call of Peter, when he says, "Come and follow me," he leaves and comes. So without any much hesitation. And as we look to the life of Matthew, Matthew has lot of money because he is doing a well-paid job, we can say, because like he is working for the Rome, collecting taxes, though the people, his own people, are hesitating or like hating him, but he gets good amount from the Rome because he is working for them. But when he hears that, when he hears Jesus calling him, he immediately leaves, and he follows Jesus. And today, when we see the life of Saint Devasahayam, he too was not afraid to leave whatever he is possessing, and even in spite of so many trials, he endured to testify God. In the gospel reading today, we see, "Do not fear those who kill the body." When we go to the shrine in close to Kanyakumari, we see where the martyrdom of Saint Devasahayam, there were many steps, many ways he was tortured, and at the end only he was killed. But to recant, asking him to recant, to stop professing his faith in Jesus. But he understood that that is the cost of the discipleship that he has to pay, and he understood killing the body, he doesn't need to bother much, but he is worried about the soul, and that's how he chose the heaven. And that cost of discipleship, what he paid, we take as a symbol, as to follow Christ, because Jesus promised, if you are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, you will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Let us ask this great saint of our land, the first lay martyr in our land, that he intercede for all the missionaries who are working in different parts of India, that they too be strong in giving testimony and sharing and spreading the kingdom of God in this earth, our motherland, India.
Saint Devasahayam, Saint of India, first Indian lay martyr. No one forced me to come. I came by my own free will. I know my heart, He is my God. I have decided to follow Him and will do so my whole life.